things. So that is the ethical hacking. Good morning to all of you. In the today's class, I am going to discuss about ethical hacking. So today's contents are introduction to hacking, hackers and crackers, why hackers are hack the mails, advantages and disadvantages of hacking, types of hacking based on the functionality and based on the knowledge, and the types of hackers. So that means here is what kind of hackers we can use. So ethical hacker skills, suppose if you want to hack anything, so what are the minimum skills you require? What are the minimum skills you require? And ethical hacker hacking techniques, suppose some of the technique you must be, so that is good at. So next, phishing page creation program for password and username hacking. So so that is the preventing against phishing. So keylogger program for password and username hacking. So suppose there is also, I will write the program for keyloggers, and virus creation program and antivirus program. Suppose the third one is, so I'll create one virus program, and I will explain how to send that virus program to your mail ID and how to hack the data through that virus. So the last one is the conclusions. So these are the today's contents. So briefly, I will explain introduction, hackers and all those things. After that, mainly I will concentrate on phishing, how to create the phishing page, and how to create keylogger programs, and how to create virus, and how to create the antivirus programs in this session, right? So that is the first one is introduction to hacking. So what do you mean by hacking? So hacking is the act of finding possible entry points to enter into the computer system or computer networks. Hacking is the act of finding possible entry points to enter into the computer system or computer networks. So that means the main objective of that hacking is to find the entry points to enter into the system, either authorizedly or unauthorizedly. Either that may be through operating system we can enter, through internet we can enter, through networking, or through keyloggers, or through viruses, or different ways we can enter into that thing. Our other definition for this one is, hacking is an act of finding weaknesses in computer system or networks to gain access into the system. That means hacking is an act of finding weaknesses in computer system or networks to gain access into the system. Here is a weaknesses. That means suppose whenever you are using that, if there are some breaches in the breaches or gaps in the networks or computer, so those can be identified by using hacking techniques. So that is who is the hacker. What do you mean by hacker? A computer expert who does the act of hacking is called hacker. A computer expert who does the act of hacking is called hacker. So cracker. So the cracker means that is a cracker is a person who enter into other systems with malicious intention. But a hacker may not be bad guys, right? So that may be ethical hackers are there. So they can use to identify the, so that is the gaps in the computer system or networks, or some guys or some people, so they can enter into the system with malicious intention. That means, so for doing some frauds, they can enter into the system. Those are called the cracker. So the cracker is a person who enter into other system with malicious intention. Malicious intention means with unauthorized intention for damaging the system. So then here is why hackers are hacking. Why hackers are hacking the system. So the first one is, so hackers who seeks knowledge. That means hackers, why they are hacking the systems means a computer system is to seek the knowledge. For example, so here is also I'm teaching that is the ethical hacking, right? So that is while I'm teaching that, I am concentrating on how to gain the knowledge and how to, so that is the give knowledge to the participants. That is the, so the main purpose of hacking the things. Or some people to understand how the system operates. So for example, whenever you know that any operating system or any programming languages or any networks or any computer system, So if you want to know that how it is working, so for that purpose also the hackers can be hack the systems. How they are designed. Suppose if you want to know the architecture of the computer or operating system structure, next for that purpose also we can use the hacking. So some people they can hack for just for fun, just for fun. So that is for time. So that is for if they feel boredom, so they can just for fun show off. So then some people they want to know that, so what I am. Suppose if you want to show how he will hacking, how his knowledge is, so that means if you want to know that, so then they can hack the systems. So steal important information. But here is some bad guys, they can hack the systems or networking or cyber security, steal information from the computers. That is for that is the for gaining the information or damaging the privacy. Some people will enter into the systems by for damaging the privacy. That means by breaking the password and the usernames or money extortions. So that is the to pay with the to play with the computers, or some people they can play with the computers or system security testing. Suppose here is the testers can also so hack the systems to find where the breaches are there and where the gaps are there. For finding that, we can use the system security to break the policy compliances. Suppose ethical hackers should follow some rules and regulations, right? So that is if you want to break that rules and regulations, so that is the hackers can hack the system and they can break the rules of that. And there are so many things are there. That is the main reason why hackers hack is because they can hack. Because they can hack, that's why they are hacking. So hacking is a hobby for some people. That is the hacking is some hobby for them. Or there are so many. So that is the ways are there. Suppose there are so many reasons are there to take revenge, curiosity, boredom, challenges, theft for financial gains. So blackmailing or extortions. So that is the corporate work pressure are making that is the, so there are so many problems. So that is, there are the so many ways are there to access this. That is the what is the main intention is. So some people to test for the system, or some people for steal the information, are taking revenges or something like this, right? So but when you are using this, what are the advantages of using hacking? What are the advantages of using hacking? So the first advantage of using the hacking is to recover lost information, to recover lost information. So for example, sometimes suppose somebody has deleted your programs, or somebody so that he corrupted your programs by using the virus or something. So by using this hacking techniques, we can recover the lost information, right? So that is the first advantages of using hacking. Second one is to perform penetration testing to strengthen computer and network security. But actually, what the ethical hackers will do, every day they will go to the company and they will hack something and they will test the strength of the computer and network security. That means they can find either break. So that is the breaches of this one. Or otherwise, so third one is to put adequate prevention measures in place to prevent security breaches. So then after finding the breaches, that means gaps, so they can write their own programs to fill up the so that is the breaches are gaps. They can write their own code. But what are the drawbacks, disadvantages of using hacking? First one is massive security breaches. Massive security breaches. That means so we can find the holes, that is the massive gaps in the network security or computer, so that the malicious people, that is the cracker, will enter into the system and then so they can steal some information. That is the massive security breaches. Or suppose unauthorized system access on private information. So the second disadvantage is unauthorized system access on private information. For example, your password or username, password, or some your credentials or some other important information will be so that is the steal by using these hacking techniques. So privacy violation, privacy violation. So for example, when you see that everyone they are using WhatsApp, right? So because it provides more security, email that provides more security. Why? Because suppose whenever first time when you send the message to other people through the WhatsApp, so it will show that your message is securely sent. So then here is, if there is no security, no one will use the WhatsApp messages. So that's why here is, but by using the hacking techniques, so we can easily hack the a private violation. Suppose simply, so suppose if your phone is, suppose if I hack your phone, I can see what are the operations you are performing, to whom you are interacting, to whom we are talking, what messages you are sending. So everything we can easily find out. But because there are so many, so that is the tools are available. So if time permits, I will show that how to hack the phone also. So that is the privacy violation. And hampering system operations. Hampering system operations means so disturbing the system operations. For example, while you are performing something, so always virus will be damaging the system. So that means it disturb our operations. So that means, so next one is denial of security attacks. Denial of security attacks. Suppose even, so some people when they are attacking for personal information, so that is also it provides the way for that. So that means, so malicious attacks on the systems. So these are the main disadvantages of using ethical hack, so that is the hacking techniques. Only advantages is to recover lost information, to perform penetration test, to strengthen computer and network system, and to put adequate preventive measures in place to prevent security breaches. And the disadvantages are massive security breaches, unauthorized system access and private information, privacy violation, hampering system operations, denial of secure attacks, and malicious attacks on the system. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of using hacking techniques. So what are the, how many types of hackings? So that is, are you following, Emma? Is it audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So types of attacks. Briefly, I will explain all these things. So that is, the first one is website hacking. So the first type of hacking is website hacking. That is also called a cyber security. That means cyber security purpose. Website hacking. Here is why the people are hacking. So that is taking unauthorized control over web server, and it is associated, its associated software such as the databases and other interfaces. So in the website hacking, exactly what they will do, so they can hack the web server username and password. So with the help of that, they can get the data, important data and other interfaces, so from the databases. So that is the one of the example of this one is, suppose we can use the a phishing technique or otherwise some social networking. So suppose with the help of that phishing techniques, so we can gain the, so that is the credentials of website, and so that we can use the thing that is the duplicate phishing page, right? So this is the one kind type of hacking. And the second one is the network hacking. So here is the network hacking means, a network means gathering information about a network by using tools like telnet, NSLOOKUP, ping, and tracet and netstate, etc., with intention to harm the network system and hamper its operations. So for example, now we are using that internet, or in the colleges also, or in the offices, they are using a networking system. But when you are using that networking system, so then whenever with the help of that networking system, we can exchange the information from source to destination. So X will send some information, Y will receiving, and Y will send some information, X is receiving. So that here is, while you are using that, so sometimes we can provide So that is the denial of services. Denial of services means suppose when you send the message to others, so other will receive or may not be received. So then here is, so that is in the cell phone. So suppose in WhatsApp also, you see that WhatsApp or so mail, or otherwise you say that phone call or LAN numbers. Suppose in that cases, you can see that networking. So but here is, so the network hacking means here is they can hack the network so that they can use your internet, or they can enter into the network with a malicious intention, and they can hack your information so that so they can create some damage to entire system. So that is the network hacking can be done. There are the different tools are available so for hacking the networks. So next one is the email attack. Email attack, taking unauthorized access on email account and using it without taking the consent of its owner. That means here is, so the next type of attack is email attack. So suppose, so but whenever taking that email, so recently, so that is so recently, so suppose one of my friend, so that is his email ID is hacked by some other people. That means, so some people they send the messages and he had given his username and password. So they taken this username and password and change the username and password, and so that they are hacking. So that means what is the purpose of they can do? What is the purpose means? So that is after blocking his password. So the simply, so that is he send messages to all the people, those who are in that mails. So then I met with an accident. I'm in so-and-so hospital. Urgently, I need this much of amount. Please send this amount to so-and-so account number. So then that message will be sent to all the people, those who are within the mail ID. But sometimes if there is a close friend or some other friends, so they may send the mail, so the message so that they can hack the things like this. So that is the email ID hacking. So that is the third type of hacking is of the cyber security. And the next one is the password hacking. Password hacking. This is the process of recovering secret passwords from data that has been stored in or transmitted by the computer. Here is another one is the password hacking. Password hacking means I will show that how to hack the password by using the keylogger. So for example, here is, so every person's system is having, so that is we can keep that username and password, right? So that is when you are given that is username password, but we can't enter into that system. If I want to enter into that system with maliciously, so the simply I can use one keylogger software, right? I will execute, I will show that, right? So when you are using the keylogger, so suppose whenever I enter into that, whenever typing that password will be copied in the, so that is the .txt file or any other files. So then we can collect that file and we can see that how the password will be so hacking. Suppose once your password and usernames are hacked by the using keylogger or RAT Pro softwares, so then so here is we can enter into that system and we can steal entire information. In the most of the movies you can observe that, right? So in the journalism movie or some other things, so sometimes they can crack the password and they can enter the things. This is the another kind of, so that is the network. Next one is the computer hacking. So this is the process of stealing computer ID password by applying hacking methods and getting unauthorized access to the computers, right? So because there is, so that is the 5 most important techniques are used by cyber security people. So that is, it is necessary to have, so that is the secure, so mainly these 5, because so all are so executed through the internet, right? So that means first one is the website hacking, or network hacking, email hacking, password hacking, and computer hacking. So that is, here is, so the cyber security. So then here is the 5 main components are there. So one is the website hacking and network hacking, email hacking, password hacking, and computer hacking. So then here is when you see that types of hackers. Suppose here is the 5 ways, that is the 5 things. So what are the types of hackers? Based on their knowledge. So that is based on their knowledge, they are classified into 4 categories. So first one is the coders. That is the types of hackers are, first one is a coders. That is the real hackers. Coders are real hackers. So the person who revise the existing method and create new tools that are available in the market. So that means really that is called testers. We can use that ethical hackers. So the highest, the people, those who are having the highest knowledge and hacking, those are called the coders. So what the coders will do? So they can find the breaches or gaps in the existing system. They can write their own programs. They can write their own program to fill the bridges or gaps. Breaches or gaps. So for example, you see that, so suppose when you are using that Windows 90, suppose Windows 2000, right? So Windows XP, but Windows 10. So suppose when you are using Microsoft Windows XP, there are a lot of breaches are there. So that is when if you install that Windows XP, so easily I can so that is the steal information from your system, because by using some port numbers or by using some gaps or breaches, right? But when you see that in Windows 10, so then it is Windows 10 provides highest security. Why it provides highest security? So because of that, so that is the second one. You see that most of the Internet Explorers, suppose Mozilla Firefox is there, Internet Explorers are there, or next to Chrome is there. Most of the people, they are using Chrome. Why? Because it provides highest security. So then here is, they can find the breaches or gaps and they can write their own code and they can incorporate in the existing system so that they can strengthen the thing. So that is the coders. But we're also sometimes we can get the every time they are asking update your Android operating system. So that is, so most of the cases either monthly or so suppose or 6 months or 1 year, so we can receive that phone call. So then whenever I reinstall that, automatically it fill the breaches. That is the coders. So second one, coders can find security holes and weaknesses in software to create their own exploits. They can develop fully patched and secure systems, right? So that is the thing. That means here is the coders are a real knowledgeable persons and real hackers. So they can create their own programs to fill the breaches or gaps. So second category is admins. We can use the admin. So that is the administrators. So suppose the network administrators are like this. So what is the function of this? So second knowledgeable persons are admins. That is the system admins. Admins are the computer guys who use the tools and exploit prepared by the coders. They do not develop their own techniques. However, they use the tricky which are already prepared by the coders. But here admins are not creating their own programs, so to hack the something or to fill the gaps. But actually, whatever the coders are developed the tools, so the admin can use the tools. Based on that, they can hack the systems, right? But here they won't write, because you see that in your lab also. So your administrator, so then you can provide the users, right? IP addresses you can create, and you can see everything what is going on in the system. Suppose if you are given the static IP, so then somebody can use different kinds of websites, or in that cases he can identify that on which system, so that is the which websites are open and which operations they are doing like this. So if they are doing any malicious operations, so then simply they can block the things, or sometimes you can keep it in the monitoring. So that is the admins. That is the second knowledgeable person is the admin. But admins can never, then they won't write their own programs. They can utilize the programs which are designed by the coders, and they can hack the systems. right? That is the second category of hackers. And they are generally system administrator or network controllers. That is the admin. And the third one is script kiddies. Script kiddies. So these are very dangerous people. These are bunnies who use script and programs developed by others to attack the computer system or hello. Hello. Somebody is
Sir, we are here.
So there are bunnies, so that is the script kiddies. That means here is they won't write any programs without knowledge. They can use the programs and scripts, and so that they can steal the information. These are the dangerous people, right? Here is these get least respect and most dangerous script kiddies, right? Here is whatever they can find some programs in the internet, they can download and they can execute it, but they don't know what purpose the program is written. They don't know, so how much it is damaging the systems. So simply these are used the script kiddies. That is that they create big problem without actually knowing what they are doing, right? So that is that they are new generation of users of computers. But means here is the script kiddies are very dangerous, right? They don't know anything, or simply they can download the programs from the internet and they can execute it. For example, so that is the while I was teaching that cyber ethical hacking subject, so then I was creating programs at the same time. So that is one Trojan virus is there. Trojan virus, everyone knows that Trojan virus. But in that cases, I downloaded that program and I don't know exactly what purpose we are using that. Simply I executed that Trojan virus. So what exactly it has done? So it crashes my system. It crashes my system. Entire hard disk has been crashed. So then the system will not be booted, because when you are using the Trojan virus, so it affects the boot sector of the computer, boot sector. But here is it will not be booted. So then at that time, what I have done, so again I formatted entire system. I have done new formats for the systems. I partition the hard disk and again I reinstall the entire system, right? So that means without knowing anything about that program, when you execute it, so that definitely your system may be corrupted. But actually I will show one small program. Only a single line is there in the C programming. We can write a single line. With the help of that single line, we can entire hard disk may be damaged. That is entire may be done like this. So that kind of things are called script kiddies, right? So they are very dangerous. They will get least respect, or simply they can damage the entire system. These take the advantages of hackers tools and documentation available for free on the internet. So whatever the tools available freely on the internet, they can use that free internet tools and they can perform the operation. I will show that how to recover the password of the Windows, how to recover the system, and password finder is there. So suppose whatever the passwords is saved in the cookies, all will be shown in that case. That is a lot of softwares that are there. I will show that. These are the script kiddies, right? They do not have any knowledge of what is going on hidden behind the screen. So that means they don't know anything. Like these guys are the teenage hackers that you hear about in the news media like this. Most of these script kiddies, what they can do, they want to, so that is that they want to publicize it. So suppose they want to become a great person in the news. That means, so sometimes పెద్దగా న్యూస్ లో కనిపించాలనుకున్నప్పుడు అలాంటి అనుకున్నప్పుడు then they can use the different techniques. That is the script kiddies. This is the third category of that, right? They need minimum skills to carry out their attacks. So that is these are the, so that is the three kinds of, that is the kiddies of this one. So next one is, so that is based on the activities. Based on the activities, so we can create another kind of, so that is the hackers. One is the white hat hacker, black hat hacker. So next gray hat hackers, or next one is we can use activist, or next one is we can a cyber terrorist or something like this, right? So that means here is we see that white hat hackers. White hat hacker means white hat hackers. Hacker is a computer guy who perform ethical hacking. That is the person, the computer experts who perform ethical hacking is called a white hat hacker. White hat hacker means, so before going to hack the information, he will take the permission from the organizer, from the owner. Because, for example, I have my username and password. I forgotten my password. So then, so that is my system forward. I have forgotten my system forward. So if I want to know that, but actually recovery tools we can use, right? But for example, most of the cases we can see that some people, suppose they may die. So after dying, if you want to open his mail ID, but recovery tools may not be sufficient. So at that time, we can meet the ethical hackers. With the help of that ethical hackers, with the permissions, they can hack, they can crack the passwords or information, right? They use their knowledge to locate security weaknesses and implement so the countermeasures in the resources, right? So these are usually security professionals with hacking knowledge and knowledge on hacking tool set. That means here is these are generally in the companies, white hat hackers are called the, so that is the testers. So what are the testers' duty? Every day they will come to the office and they will verify the breaches. They can searching for the breaches. If they find any breaches, so they can fill the gap with the existing tools or they can write their own tools. Those are called the white hat hackers, right? And black hat hackers. These are the dangerous people, right? A black hat hacker is a computer guy who perform unethical hacking. So without permission of the owners, they can hack the credentials or secret information. Those guys are called the black hat hackers. These are the criminal hackers or crackers. We can call these are the crackers or criminal hackers. They use their skills and knowledge for illegal or malicious purpose. Here is they can use, that is the white hat hackers, they can use their knowledge for good purpose. But here is the black hat hackers, that means, so they are creating, then they are using their knowledge for, so that is the illegal activities for malicious purpose. They break into or otherwise violate the system integrity of remote missions. So next one is the grey hat hackers. Next one is the grey hat hackers. So the grey hat hackers is a hybrid. So that means those the hackers, those who will hack sometimes with the permission of the owner or sometimes without permission of the owner. A grey hat hacker is a computer guy who sometimes act legally and sometimes act illegally. They are called grey hat hackers. That means sometimes they can hack, they can act like a white hat hacker, or sometimes they will act as a black hat hackers. So for example, when you see that, so suppose if you want to hack the military system of Pakistan or the other countries, so at that time these guys should, so that is the crack the rules and regulations, they break the usernames and password without permission of other countries. So because, so somebody will send messages, right? So that is, so suppose in August 15th, so that is in so-and-so places, we plan to keep, do bomb blasting. When they are receiving that information, so immediately what the grey hat hackers will do, so then simply, so they can hack that, so that is the terrorist websites. So passwords and username, and they can go through that information, and according to that they can avoid the situation. So there they can work it as a black hat hackers, because they won't take any permission from the, so that is the terrorist. But sometimes suppose if the government is asking for so that is some usernames or passwords, so then they are giving like that. That is the white hat hackers, grey hat hackers. They do not hack for personal gain or have malicious intention. So, but these grey hat hackers cannot So crack the messages for their personal purpose or malicious purpose, right? They may or may not occasionally commit crimes during the course of their technology's exploit. They are hybrid between white hat and black hat hackers. Another one is the activist. We can call it as a activist, right? Activist means there's another type of hackers. These try to broadcast political or social message through their work. What is the activists can do? Suppose whenever one incident is happened, so immediately they can send to all the people. They can broadcast that information. But you can also see that, for example, one a small suppose 10th class results. So got very less 67% pass percentage. But whenever are receiving that message, these activists, what they can do, they can put it in the websites, or they can put it, expose that in the WhatsApps or Facebooks, Twitter, and all the cases they can put, and they can spread that information to entire people. That kind of people are called activists. That kind of people are called. So we are all activists, because whatever important information we received, immediately we can send that message to all the people through mail ID, or suppose Facebook or something like this. That is the activist, right? Activists want to raise the public awareness of an issues. So their main intention is so to create awareness, public awareness in the people. That is the for creation of awareness, the activist can do like this. For example, you can go through that. So suppose videos, so suppose the TV, whatever a small incident is happened, immediately it broadcasts. So that is the activist. Another kind of hackers are cyber terrorist. Cyber terrorist. These are hackers who are called cyber terrorist. The cyber terrorist only they will concentrate on government properties, not on private properties. They attack government computers or public utility infrastructure such as power stations, air traffic controls, or police stations like that. So then here is these cyber attackers can do the things like this. They crash critical system or steal classified government information. That means here is but here is only they can target the government organization and government people, so that they can do something like this. These are called, so that is the cyber terrorist, right? So these are the types of hackers, right? So based on the knowledge, there are 3 types of hackers are there. So based on the functionalities, there are 5 types of hackers, right? I think you understood the hackers, types of hackers. Okay, have you understood it? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Rutsana,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
whenever I'm asking question, you should be in a position to give answer, because without
Yes, sir. Yes,
introduction.
of course, sir.
Okay, is it clearly
Yes,
audible, Andy?
of course, it is going on in a proper manner, sir.
Okay, thank you. So
No
next,
disturbances at all. No disturbance.
okay, ethical hacker skills. An ethical hacker possesses the good skills, mindset, and tools of hackers. So most of the companies, we can see that testers will get highest salary. So sometimes they can get salary in crores, right? In lakhs, in crores, so in millions. So why? Because so that is they must have good skills and a good mindset and good knowledge and good hackers. But normal programmers will not become a, so that is the hackers. But what are the skills they required? First one is learning how to program. So the first skill is how to write a program. You should be good at writing of the program. But because here is written, so suppose 10 to 15 virus programs and hacking programs. So by using C programming, because I am good at C programming language, right? But at the same thing we can implement by using the Python also. Now I am trying to write all the programs in the Python. So that is the, so suppose if you are good at writing programs, So then definitely you will become a good hacker. So second one is use the internet. So that is but hacker should use internet. That means you should have exact idea about the internet, right? So that is what is the domain name, IP addresses, a static web page, a dynamic web page. So that is the protocol, everything like this. That is, you must have clear idea about an entire internet. So third one is good at solving problems. So suppose if you want to solve any problems, you can write more than one ways to write the program. So that is the taking advantages of existing security tools. That means you must have good knowledge on existing tools. So so that is the password finder is there. With the help of that password finder, so we can find all the passwords which are saved in your computer. But suppose when you are installing that, so that definitely you have to so that is the remove the security of the system, like that, right? So next, knowing on design of the system. For example, if you want to hack the system, you should know entire architecture of the system. That means how they designed, what operating systems they are using, what is the configuration of the system, what are the applications they are using. So that is the different knowledge should be having. That is the operating systems. But here is the operating system is also very important, right? So suppose what operating system we are using, what versions we are using. So based on that, you can try to hack the things. For example, when you are using Windows XP operating system, so there are so many gaps are there. There are so many breaches. That means a port numbers. You should know the port number, what port numbers they are using. So what are the DOM? So that is the how to enter into the system, what networks they are using. So like that, right? So networking and protocols. But here is a network, computer networks. You should know what kind of networks they are using, and protocols. Different purpose we can use different protocols. Suppose when you are using HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. So another one is we can use the HTTPS protocol. That means hypertext transfer protocol with the security. But these two are used for web page designing. Based on the protocol also we can analyze that either that is the web page, or suppose if you want to download that FTP file transfers we can use. So that is the POP protocol we can use for mails, right? So SMTP mails. That is the news. Different kinds of protocols are designed for specific purpose. Suppose if you want to hack the website, so you must know the entire architecture of HTTP or HTTPS, so that easily we can hack like that. So that is the tool builders. There are a lot of tools are available. I will show that there are so many tools how to hack the suppose wireless networking and wired networking. With the help of Raspberry Pi tool, we can hack the system in 24 ways, right? So like that. Good at identify and exploiting programming errors in application that you will be targeting. So that means these are the skills to achieve your design goals within available time and sources. So these skills must be required for ethical hacker or any other kind of hackers. So the normal programmers, that is the people, those who are concentrating on theoretical part, they will never become a hacker. Suppose if you are good at programming, if you are good at languages, if you are good at operating system, networking, computer system, so then on protocols, then only you will become a good ethical hacker. That's why they are providing. So that is the salary in lakhs, right? See, these are the skills are required for that. So next one is what are the techniques they can use? That is the hackers, either ethical hacker or any other hackers. What are the techniques they can use? For example, first one is password guessing and cracking techniques. So the first one is password guessing and cracking technique. So that is the password guessing. We can call it as a social engineering. But you should be in a position to what are the tools we can use for password guessing. For example, so when you see that most of the people, they can use a default passwords. But when you are using that, so suppose web technology, when they are using web technologies, right, they can use sometimes Oracle admin or admin they can use, or otherwise cat and tiger. Or so suppose when you are in different people, so that is there are some default, or otherwise we can put the name like this. So suppose my pet name, or my wife name, or my name, or my son name, or my favorite name, like that. So then most of the cases for easily remembering purpose, we are giving the password like this. సో మీ పాస్వర్డ్ చూసినా కానీ కూడా ఏదో మీ పేరుకు సంబంధించిందో లేకుంటే మీ ఇష్టమైన ప్లేసో మీ ఇష్టమైన దాని గురించో లేకపోతే మీ ఫాదరో వాళ్ళ గురించో ఉంటుంది. సో లాస్ట్లో మాక్సిమం దే కెన్ యూజ్ లైక్ 1234 హ్యాష్ ఆర్ $123 ఆర్ సమ్ సింబల్స్ వీ కెన్ యూజ్ లైక్ దట్, రైట్? బట్ ఇక్కడ కూడా మాక్సిమం మనం హ్యాష్ కానీ డాలర్ సింబల్ కానీ అదర్, సో దట్ ఈస్ జనరలీ సో యాంపర్సెంట్ సింబల్స్ కానీ మనం లేదా స్టార్స్ కానీ యూజ్ చేయడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఇస్తుంది. So 1, 2, 3, 4 ala. So then you should be in a position to guess that kind of technique is called social engineering. That kind of technique is called social engineering. You should be good at social engineering. Social engineering means by sending the mails, so you can identify his favorite things. According to that, you try it and crack the password, right? There are different tools are there. Second one is session hijacking. Session hijacking, that is the cookies. So that is we can create our own cookies by using either JavaScript or VB script or Python, JSP, like that, right? By using that, so that is we can use the cookies. So but when you are creating the cookie, so that cookie can be, so that is hack entire information. You should be, so that is you should, what kind of tools we have to use for creating the cookies. So for example, what are the use of that cookie? But most of the cases our username and passwords will be saved in the cookie, but only that saving should be within our system, right? But when you go to that history, so suppose Mozilla Firefox కానీ లేదా Chrome యూజ్ చేసేసేసి go to that history. So in that history, when you click on that, we can see that how many usernames and passwords are stored. So then based on that also we can do that. But now I am giving the lecture on this one. So that is the entire session may be hijacked, right? So that is the cookies. So in the yesterday's news, so that is the one burning topic is what? So while so that is the Lokesh, TDP Lokesh, while he was conducting that Zoom meeting, so that is the Kodali Nani or Vamsi, they enter into that system because with the passwords of the students they entered, right? But without using that password, we can create our own cookie and that session can be hijacked so that we can see everything. So that is the session hijacking tools we require, and session proofing. So that is the forgery. So the forgery of this, suppose you can create that is the fake web page or fake mails or fake Facebook things, and so that we can create the things. So the recently, that is the 1 month back, so that is the some people, somebody has hacked, so that is the created fake account on my Facebook, right? So then so they used my photograph and my name and everything. So they are sending messages to all the people. So that is the send 18,000 rupees. Because first they will send hi, hello, how are you? After that he will say that I want 18,000 rupees, right? So the most of the students or the people, they receive that message and they thought that suppose R is getting so that is the high salary, why he asking 18,000? Somebody they called me and sorry, your Facebook is hacked. So then I send the message to the Facebook people, and so that will be done like this. That is called as spoofing. We can call that session is spoofing. So then if you want to get the information from some people, so then we have to create the forgery. Either it may be ethical or unethical, we can do that. Network traffic sniffing. So that means here is we can use the device monitoring, reading, monitoring, capturing of the networks. So that is when they are moving, we can use the WhatsApp messages, or Facebook messages. So then automatically the people will be monitoring, right? So that is the monitoring tools are required. Denial of service attack tools are required, and exploiting buffer overflow vulnerabilities, right? So sometimes you can use the buffer overflow things, right? So that is the thing. So that is the, how do you get the buffer overflow? Because so the server is there. So suppose whenever you use the server, continuously we can send the request to the server. Suppose from 3 or 4 places, continuously we'll send the request to the server. So the server is busy to process that request, busy to process that request. At that time, so they will enter into the system maliciously. They can hack something from that. So that is the SQL injection. So another technique is we can use SQL injection. SQL injection means, for example, here is we can simply insert the SQL command. For example, company employees database is the company employees database. So in that company employees databases, for example, there are 1 lakh employees are there. So in that case, suppose, so I will target my salary. I will target my salary. I can inject one SQL query and I will change my salary. Suppose if my salary is getting, suppose 5,000 rupees, right? So I will make it as 50,000. I can insert that in the list so that nobody knows that thing. So that is every month, instead of getting 5,000 rupees salary, so you will get 50,000 rupees salary, right? So that is a SQL injection. So that is while I was working in a private engineering college, I was in charge for the web development. So at that time, so that is the one guy, so he was working on website, right? So after 3 to 4 months, he got job and he went to the Chennai. Before going to Chennai, what he has done, he used one SQL injection in our website. And the first page they created. And SQL injection query chesi first page lo rasipoyinappudu, whenever you open that system, it will show that it is very harmful to open this website. Alanti messages vastundi. So pratisari delete chesina gaani kuda malli ade vastundi, delete chesina ade vastundi. So that is after that it took 10 days to identify that malicious SQL injection. ఆ SQL ఇంజెక్షన్ క్వరీ డిలీట్ చేసేసినప్పుడు సో దెన్ ఆ సిస్టమ్ మొత్తం అంతా మళ్ళీ యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గా వచ్చేసింది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద సమ్ ఆఫ్ ది టెక్నిక్స్ ఆర్ టూల్స్ టెక్నిక్స్ దే కెన్ యూజ్ టు హ్యాక్ ది ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. వన్ is the password guessing and cracking. Second one is the session hijacking or session proofing. So network traffic sniffing, denial of services, exploiting buffer overflow vulnerabilities, and SQL injections, right? So that is this is the introduction. So now I'll explain that phishing page, how to create phishing page, and what the program, how to write the programs like this, right? So I have understood that theory. So what is the hacking, types of hackers, right? The skills of hackers, techniques of hackers. Have understood that? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So now I will explain that is the one is the phishing page. So how to create the phishing page and what are the steps we have to follow. So like this, right? So that is after that I will show that program and I will execute that, right? First one is, what do you mean by phishing? Phishing is the technique to create a similar type of web page to the existing web page. That means here is phishing is the technique to create a similar type of web page to the existing web page. That means here is a duplicate page is created. That means here is the website, however, is bogus and set up only to steal the user's information. Only users information, right? So this is the called as a phishing page. So for example, so that is the recently one university website as created by using phishing page, right? So for example, so what they have done, a similar web page, the similar web page of that university as created, And next, they are asking that the students, those who failed in the examinations, who are having backlogs, so that is the please pay the fee and register. So on or before in so and so date, day after tomorrow or tomorrow like this, within the 2 days. So you have to apply for backlog post. So that is they had given one. So what they had given one account number. So most of the people, so they log in into that website and they registered for that. Because అంటే సేమ్ వాళ్ళ యూనివర్సిటీ వెబ్ పేజ్ లాగానే పేజ్ క్రియేట్ చేసేసి బ్యాక్లాగ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ బ్యాక్లాగ్ క్యాండిడేట్స్ అందరూ రేపటి లోపల రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకోండి. సో కాబట్టి రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకోండి, ఇంత అమౌంట్ పే చేసేసేయండి అని చెప్పే. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద స్క్రోలింగ్ దట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఆన్ దట్ వెబ్సైట్. So then what the people, what the students will think, so immediately, so some of the students, they paid amount to that because they really that account was in the Australia, that is the Australian people, they created website and they are done. This is called a phishing page. This is called, so one kind of thing is phishing, right? So that they can get the information. After that, they can block that website, and so they can hack the money. So that is the phishing is a type of attack where the intruders means the people who are malicious purpose, who steal the information to gain your personal information such as your passwords or your credit card numbers or any other information. The main use of that phishing page creation is, so that is to steal your passwords or credit numbers and other information like this. So then this is the phishing, right? So but you see that it is a one kind of phishing page. Report here is, we can see that it is a original page like that. And the next phishing scam could be why they create phishing and what scam they can do. Emails invite you to join a social group asking you to log in using your username and password. So that means how they can use ఫిషింగ్ అనేది ఎందుకంటున్నాం. సో మనం ఎక్కడైనా చేపలు పట్టడానికి పోయినప్పుడు ఎర్ర పెట్టేస్తాం, అక్కడ గాలానికి ఎర్ర పెట్టేసేసి ఫిష్కి వేస్తే అది మింగేసేసేసి బయటకు వస్తుంది, అంటే చిన్న చేపను పెట్టి పెద్ద చేపను లాగినట్టు. ఇక్కడికి కూడా ఫిషింగ్ ఎలా చేస్తారు అంటే, ఒకటి ఈమెయిల్ ఇన్వైటింగ్ యూ టు జాయిన్ ఏ సోషల్ గ్రూప్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ టు లాగ్ ఇన్ యూజింగ్ యువర్ యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్. So then they will send the mails. Later I will show that how to send the malicious mails to the thing. So suppose they will send the mail to the people. So that is, this is the social group. You join in that group, because nowadays we can see that most of the groups. So one is the engineers group is there. So that is the software engineers groups are there. So that is the college placements officers groups are there. So simply they can create one group and they can send mail to that person, all the persons. So that is whenever login into that, it asking your username and password. But when you enter your username and password, they can steal your important information, right? Or asking to log in into the username. So that is, so many ways are there. Second way is email saying that your bank account is locked and sign into your account to unlock it. But sometimes, most of the cases, we can receive this kind of messages. So that is your email of the bank account is closed. So if you want to activate your bank account, you enter your login and passwords. But when you are getting this information, most of the people, they can enter and they can hack so they can type their username and passwords. So that is 10 years back, right? 10 years back, at that time, the people had no awareness on internet like this. So while I was working in private engineering college, so one of mechanical head of the department, he received one message like that. So that is, so you got lottery. So that is on Coca-Cola, 1 crore rupees. Please give your details. So then what he had given, he had entered all the details. So they hacked his username and password and simply they send message to all the people, like what message I said. That is, I met with an accident. So that is a please transfer amount to this one's account. Luckily, in his mail account, his uncle was there. And అతని పిల్లనిచ్చిన మామ కూడా ఉన్నాడు. Immediately he found that. So next day he came to me and he asked that, sir, so my username and password is a black. So then when you are using that, so then I asked that, have you responded for any spam mails? Then he said that, right? So like that, so that is the mail. Second one is mails containing some information of your interest and asking you to log into your account. But here is the emails can be having some different things. Suppose, so grab, get buy one, get two, buy one, get 10. Suppose they are giving discount is 80%, like that. When they are giving that, when you click on that, so automatically entire information will be steal from that. Or any email carrying a link to click on asking to this. So that is the, so this purpose we can use like this. And the phishing case create చేసేటప్పుడు ఏంటంటే one is, so we can get the pages similar to that. Suppose if you want to steal the information from SBI account, so you can use internet banking. So that is the home page we can create, and username, password, and so that is the OTP. So then, so this will be hacking, and they can do the something like this. Or suppose if you want to hack your Gmail account, so first we can create the phishing page of like a same Gmail account, and next we can do the we can copy the things like that, right? So this is the, but what purpose means, that is the simply they can send the mails and so I can do this. So now I will explain how to create a Rediff mail phishing page. How to create a Rediff mail a phishing page. What is the procedure we are following? But here is, so most of the cases, so we can write the PHP code, so for performing that operations. You see that. So the first one is, only one thing is you can create HTML page as usual. But once you create HTML page, somewhat it may be very difficult to us. So that's why anni ante CSS anni use cheyali, colors, font, everything. If you want to use it, somewhat it is very difficult. So kabatti ikkada em chestamante, first thing is you see that. So how to create a web page of this one? For example, you see that ikkada oka web page create cheyalannappudu, just you see that. So this is the page. Suppose Yahoo, suppose Facebook account, FACE Facebook.com. You see that this is the original page. So do you know that? Is it visible, Andy? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So is
Yes,
it
sir.
visible, Amma? So actually this is the original so Facebook page, right? This is the originally Facebook page. So if you want to create the page same like this, instead of creating that, you right click on this one. This page మీద right click చేసేస్తే view source code, it find the source code like this. You see that view source code means you can get the source code, right? So after getting source code, you select entire source code. You select entire source code and copy, and next to copy the same thing on the desktop. So suppose you see that in the desktop, so that is the notepad is there. In the notepad you copy entire thing. You copy entire thing. So this is, but when you see that, suppose if you want to save as, here is all files, and here is Facebook.html. I'm using Facebook.html. Then you can see that. But actually here is the Facebook.html, Facebook. You see that the same, but when you click on this, so you can get the same original page. Have understood that how to create the phishing page? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is the first step is open the phishing page. Suppose the first thing is, so you open the URL. ఇక్కడ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ URL వస్తుంది, first Facebook URL. This is the original, and here is you right click on it. So you view the source. You see that view source page, view page source. So here is there views page page. So then here is automatically you can get the source code for that web page and go to the notepad and you open that. You give the same name for this one. That is the file name dot extension. So then here is, but when you are using this, so but whenever you are using this automatically, so this is the original page. You see that this is the fake, and suppose .com. So this, you see that this is the, is there any difference? No difference. You see that. So this is the fake page, this is the fake, and this is the original page. We are creating, so that is the phishing page like this. But when the people will see that here is, but actually whenever giving that here is also you can give the username and password. So any passwords you can give it, but it will not accept, right? It is not accepting. But here is a, when you are given that here is, it will accepting, it will accepting. But what the people will think that here is, so suppose whenever you're getting that, whenever you're given that, automatically these will be entered into the my directory. I think you understood that how to create that is the original, exactly original web page. But here is, so that is the one way of creating fake Facebook. But here is I'm creating phishing page, but how to make it as a dynamic. But whenever you're entering, that is the username and passwords, but that is the email ID and password. So that will be received and that will be stored in a file. So for example, so for that purpose, we can write one PHP code, So now you see that in that, so first we are taking the first step is open the, so here is done the Rediff mail, open the Rediff mail login page in your browser. Press Ctrl+U to find the source code. But here is a shortcut keys, you can use Ctrl+U or otherwise you right click the mouse and so that you are getting, so view page source, view page source. So after that copy whole source code and create the PHP file. That name is given that index.php and paste it. But here is what I have created, facebook.html and ichanu endukante just for showing purpose. But here is the same name can be given as index.php. Why the file name always you have to give the index.php means the home page name is always index.php. So in any website, the index page is always, first home page is always index.php. When you are given the name is index.php, so without that calling function, automatically home page will be displayed. Automatically home page is displaying. Suppose if you are given the name is other name abc.php, we have to call that externally. So then you have to give the file name PHP and next now search for string method. But actually any web page that contains the controls. So controls like so suppose the text box or buttons or so suppose the text area, check boxes or radio buttons like this. So if you want to insert these controls on the website, we required forms. These are called the form controls. Generally, suppose if you are good at HTML forms, so then easily you can understand that. So within the form control, we can use two things. One is the action attribute and another one is the, so that is the method. Action and other one is method. So the later on I will write a simple program, I will show it, and before that, so that is the action. When you are using that action, when you are calling the file name, that is used for calling new file, but method means it can be using the post method or get method. So these two are used to find the login a second registration of that. So method daggara post ani chesi action button daggara we can give the file name, our own. Suppose the next replace the action file name xyz.php in the login form, and we are written creating, and here is xyz and login file name, and so that we can do the things. So ikkada manam mana own program for accessing the credentials, we can write our own program. So first I will explain this logic. After that I will execute that program and I will show that how that will be working and how I written this program, right? So now here is, suppose if you want to get the data from the file, so then here is already I created that, right? So ikkada manam adi create chesam kabatti, then you can see that. But from this here is we are in text box and password box. ఈ రెండు బాక్స్ల నుంచి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనం గెట్ చేసి మన డైరెక్టరీలో కాపీ చేయాలన్నప్పుడు then simply we can write this PHP code header location colon http://mail.rediffmail. This one. So this is the URL of the original Rediff mail. So after that we open the file for this one. The file name I had given face.txt. F open a++, that is in the appending mode. So for each dollar post as a variable, so entire thing, whatever information you type on the page, that will be receiving and stored in the files. So that is the thing. Now you see that how I had created. Now you see that. So here is, but actually you see that. Is it visible, Amma?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir, visible.
So now I'll see that one is the so that is the one for Facebook hacking. So I written one program, for Google hacking one program, and for Rediff mail. You see that for Rediff mail I had given like this. ఈ Rediff mail లో మనం ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ ఏంటంటే ఇండెక్స్ పేజ్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం. You see that indexed page, right? But how we are creating? So first thing is, you see that దీనికి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేపాటికి now you see that rediffmail.com. See that rediffmail.com. This is the original page. So here is the Rediff mail is there. Now you see that. So this is the original. Have understood that? Now you copy this. View source code. Copy. So ikkadiki vachepatiki ante, suppose here is you are using that, copy paste. So now you give this file name as index.php. Save as index.php. We can create the file name is index.php. So after that, if you want to get the information, what exactly I have to do that? So in that entire data, it contains the form. So that is the form contains action as well as method. You see that first thing is you find that. So that is the action. Now you see that when you are using that action, ఇక్కడ చూడండి యాక్షన్ అనేది ఎక్కడ వచ్చింది, ఇక్కడ ఉంది. So next you see that action, but here is now you see that అంటే ఇక్కడ మనం మెథడ్ చూసాం అనుకోండి, మెథడ్ పక్కనే యాక్షన్ ఉంటుంది. సపోజ్ యు సీ దట్ మనకు ఇక్కడ చూసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసేసినప్పుడు then you see that method is there. So ఈ మెథడ్ ఇక్కడ ఏముంది, ఇక్కడ చూడండి మెథడ్ is the post method is there. Get and post methods are there. అంటే ఇక్కడ మనం వచ్చేసి post method get method already we know the differences. So method is the post is there, and in front of that action should be there. Suppose here is action is there, right? ఈ యాక్షన్ లో కూడా మనకు వచ్చేసేసి ఒక ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఉంటుంది. Suppose this action file name is, you see that action is equal to, so up to this we can close it. Whatever I written on my own program xyz.php గ్యాప్ తీసుకోవడానికి PHP ఫైల్ ఇక్కడ రీప్లేస్ చేశాను. So that is the PHP file. I written this PHP file xyz.php. Whatever I explained that, now I saved this file. ఈ ఫైల్ సేవ్ చేసేసిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడ సేమ్ థింగ్ వాట్ ఐ డన్ ద సేమ్ థింగ్ ఇక్కడ రెడిఫ్ మెయిల్ లో ఇండెక్స్ లో సేమ్ అదే చేశాను. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసేసినప్పుడు పిహెచ్పిలో వచ్చేపాటికి ఇక్కడ మనకు యాక్షన్ లో వచ్చేసి యు సీ దట్. So you see that action is equal to xy.z.php and method is a post. So this is the index I have created and xyz file I created for accessing the data. You see that. So less than php header is equal to location :http. So the same URL I mentioned because మనకు ఒరిజినల్ పేజ్ లాగా కనిపించాలి అంటే హెడర్ లో ఉండేది ఫస్ట్ డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది. సో ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి I created one file name face.txt a plus. So here is I wrote this function. So now here is you see that. Now if you want to entire thing I kept in the, so that is you can use your own domain name అంటే మీ కాలేజ్ నేమ్ లో కానీ పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, లేకపోతే ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లో కానీ టామ్ క్యాట్ సర్వర్ లో కానీ ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి నేను ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లో రన్ చేస్తున్నాను. So I inserted that the same program I copied in the example hd docs lo copy chesanu. Now you see that. So in that rediff mail folder we are having index xyz and file is not related to this kabatti మీరు ఈ ఫైల్ మీరు పట్టించుకోవాల్సిన. ఇప్పుడు ఈ రెండు ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయా? హలో,
yes sir.
ఇండెక్స్డ్ ఫైల్ మనం అంటే ఫిషింగ్ పేజ్ క్రియేట్ చేసాము. xyz అనేది మనకి ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసినప్పుడు సో ఫర్ హ్యాకింగ్ ద యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్స్ బై యూజింగ్ PHP. సో దానికి xyz అనేది రాసాము. ఈ xyz ఫైల్ we are written in the indexes. So now when you are executing this file you see that. So now here is a rediff mail is there. Now we can use that, but actually so while I am using that exam I can use the local server, local host slash, but my directory name is what? So rediff mail. So that is the rediff mail slash, but I the phishing page name is already I had given index.php. So then automatically it will be executed automatically. Now when you are executing that, the index.php is created. You see that. So now this is the duplicate page. This is duplicate page. You see that. So in the rediff mail there is a no face.exe. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇక్కడ మూడు ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఫైల్, ఇండెక్స్ అండ్ xyz. But here is, but whenever you are giving my credentials, suppose here is I am giving my credential nagaraju.c @ so that is the Yogavemana University .ac.in I had given university dot on the pedagogy pattatledu. Okay, you see that. Suppose cnr csc @ yahoo.com. So .com, and here is I am giving my password, but actually I don't know. So suppose no one knows that my password. Suppose here is I am giving, suppose need to, so suppose 1 2 3 symbol. Suppose here is, do you know what password I had given? Hello.
Sir, please tell, sir.
So here is a username I had given cnr csc @ yahoo.com. Password I had given, but here is, so we don't know. But when you are executing this sign in, but it is a phishing page, right? When sign in, so automatically in my directory you see that ఇక్కడ ఇంతకు ముందు మనకు ఫేస్ అనేది ఉందా? లేదు. There is no face file, right? But here is with the PHP I created face file, automatically that will be executing, and you can see the files. For existing the login name, you see that login name what I had given cnr csc @ yahoo.com, and password I had given neetu123. Then my password and username are stored in my file. Have understood that?
Yes, sir.
Again you open that file. Again you go to this. And now you see that it is a local directory, local host / rediff mail, and again enter this. Again you are getting the same phishing page, and this time I am giving C Nagaraju csc@gmail.com. The password I want to give or anything like this. Suppose here is password. But here is, but when you see that, is there any difference? Either how to find out? Now when you click on this sign in, automatically this username and password is stored in my rediff mail. You see that face lo first lo chudandi, first చేసినది ఏంటి మనకు from the name cnrcsc@yahoo.com neetu 123 and here is second login name C Nagaraju csc@gmail.com and password is Nagaraju 1234 and given 1234. That means, so whatever you password, suppose the same phishing page can be sent to all the people. So then, so whenever they are enter the Gmail, whenever they are using the Gmail account, so immediately this phishing page will be displayed. But when you type your username and password or simply, so those will be stored my server. So I can go through that server and I can give the same username and passwords. So then I can hack your web email ID of this one. And the next one is I can get the credentials, or sometimes I may harass you, or sometimes so then and revenge తీసుకోవడానికని for gaining the money. So that is so for different purpose we can use this one, right? But here is exactly what I have done. Only I have created one index page, that is the so that is the phishing page. Our next one is I created one so PHP program I written. So then I open that file for storing purpose. So page.txt for A+ mode. So A+ means that is the appending mode. You type any number, so that will be created like this. So I have understood this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is suppose the same two programs, index and XYZ. I can purchase the domain. Suppose so suppose there are 3 domains are there. So that is the ghost domain and the RU domains are there. Different types of malicious websites are there. With the free of cost we can find out. Or otherwise, really if you want to do some malicious things, you can purchase the domain. Or suppose your domain name is so like this. Suppose our Yogavamana University www.yogavamanauniversity.ac.in or yogavamanauniversity.com, like that. So through online we can purchase the domain. So in that domain I can copy these two, index file as well as XYZ file. But when you click on that, automatically it generates one URL. It generates one URL. But the same URL, whenever sending that same URL, but here you see that, so this is the URL, right? So here is actually, it is my local system. We got the local host rediff mail. But suppose if it is a domain name, we can find that www.yogavamana https://www.yogavamanauniversity.ac.in/index page. It will be open. But whenever clicking on that, automatically entire information will be come and store in my data. But in the same files you can store in the GitHub also. You can create your own account in the GitHub, and so that we can hack the things like this. So this is the one way of creating the page. Have you understood that?
Yes, sir.
Now you see that how to write the form like this. ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఒక simple form ఏంటంటే, for example you see that HTML header and body is get, here is I written the form like this. So same ప్రతి web page లో ఈ form ఉంటుంది. Action is equal to, here is I did not mention any name. Suppose if the PHP code is written within the same file name, so here is you can keep it as a blank space. So suppose the method here is I am using the get method or encrypted multipart or like this. Here is I have taken one input box, that is the email, and another one is the password, and here is the submitting button. So, but when you execute this file, so automatically it asks like this. Suppose the file is there now, then same thing you execute this local host and rediff file.php. But when you write this instruction, you are getting like this. You see that? So email ID. Suppose here is you are given any email ID, cnrcsc@yahoo.com, and password is, suppose I am giving ABCDE. Suppose the password is ABCDEF 1 2 3 I had given, right? So now when you click on this button, you see that manaki ikkada idi kuda kanipistundi ABCDEF 123. Suppose when you click on this button, automatically entire thing will be go to this directory, and here you say the file ABC indaku mundu ledhu. So that is in the ABC file we can find that username is so cnrcsc@yahoo.com, and password is ABCDEF 123 like this, right? So for this one we can write the code of this one. So then here is the form. We can create the form. Within the form I am using two boxes, that is the email control, and another one is the password control, and another one is the submit button. So I took the code of this one, but here is I am using the get method. So that's why here is the underscore get method I am using. Post method means like that. So this is creation of phishing page. Okay, have you understood that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the procedure is what? So the first thing is you open the website, original
Index.
web page, and right click on that, and click on view page source. Then you will get the source code of HTML and select entire thing. So go to the notepad and paste it, and next you save that file name as index.php. So after that, wherever you find the action method, so then you replace that file with our own file. So after that, we write our own file to get the information. And next, when you are using, when you are keeping this in the any website, here is I am using exam server. So because it is a local server, that's why I given local host and that one, so that we can hack your username or passwords. So that most of the cases for the festivals, we can get the links. So that's why you should not click on that. So click this link, you can get miracle. But when you click on that, it asks your user password, so that it will be acting like this. Now you see that. So then how to avoid the phishing conditions? How to avoid the phishing? The prevention against phishing. Read all the emails carefully and check if the sender is original or not. Either the sender is original or not. But how do you identify that a sender is original or not? Now you see that. So suppose it is, how do you identify that? Suppose facebook.com I am giving. But when you use that, suppose here is, how do you say that it is a original? Because here is the lock symbol is there, security symbol lock. You see that in the URL, lock symbol is there. Have you seen that? HTTPS.
Yes, sir.
This is the lock symbol. So this is the original. We can see that. Suppose you see that my phishing page, local host Facebook, localhost / Facebook. Then you see that here is there is no
lock.
There is no lock symbol. So by seeing that, we can identify that either it is a original page or not. Suppose when the circle inside that is I, so that will show the warning symbol. So then we can say that it is a phishing. But when you open that URL, now you should not enter any usernames or password in this case. So that is the first step. And the second one is watch the link carefully before clicking. Watch the link carefully before clicking. So that is, how do you watch that either before clicking? because here is in the URL, so they can change the spellings. For example, so suppose www.yogivemanauniversity.ac.in. It is our original website. How they can do? So Yogivemana, what is the spelling? Y-O-G-I. So, but instead of that, what they can change the word Y-A-G-I-N. Y-A means alphabetically is a phishing web page will be comes first. Phishing web page will comes first. So when you click on that, that page will be coming. So that's why while you are clicking that, you should know that exact spelling mistake or whether it is a valid or not. Next, always check the URL in the browser before sign in to your account. Always log into your account after opening the trusted websites. Log symbol and do not click on any unknown website or emails. So track the address of mail by studying the structure of the email header. So email header structure study changes it, then you can open the things like this. So this is the process of creating web page. Have understood that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So another one is the keylogger is there. So how to hack the username and password or entire thing. For example, in your system, I will insert one keylogger software so that it will gain entire information. మీరు ఏది టైప్ చేస్తే అంతా ఆ ఫైల్లో రికార్డ్ అవుతుంది. So now that is called keylogger software program, and here is I read this. There are software keyloggers are there, hardware keyloggers. I wrote this program. Then you see that. Then here is you will see that, and here is a keylogger is there, but actually you see that keylogger 1 program. Now I don't so then you see that run admin, but actually ga manaki ikkada run admin ani ichinappudu automatic ga, so the program will be now the program is running, but we won't see that where the program is running, but actually that is in the desktop, but it is hidden from the users. We can't see that where the program is running. So what is the output is there. But here is now you see that. So but when you see this, when you use the login page, nothing is there in the login, right? So but here is suppose whenever you are typing this program, or suppose here is I am using suppose google.com, suppose here is Yahoo, sorry, Facebook.com. When I open this, and here is I am giving my name. Suppose here is all the keyloggers, the keystrokes will be copied. So suppose nagarajuc@Yogivemana University.ac.in, and I am giving password or something. Clicking on this, right? సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఇప్పుడు చూసేసినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే నాకు రాంగ్ వచ్చేసింది. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం టైప్ చేశానో నేను చూడాలన్నప్పుడు ద ఫైల్ షుడ్ బి హియర్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్. సపోజ్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి దెన్ యూ టైప్ ఇట్. సపోజ్ ద ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఈజ్ లాగ్, రైట్? బట్ వెన్ యూ సీ దట్ హియర్ ఈజ్ ద ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఈజ్ లాగ్ ఇస్ దేర్. నౌ యూ సీ దట్ వాట్ ఐ టైప్డ్ హియర్ ఈస్, సో ఎస్ backspace facebook.com nagaraju. So that is the shift type press Nagaraju shift @ means that is the symbol is Yogivemana University, and after that here is, so here is a Neethamma login like this, right? So then here is whatever I do operations, so it will be copying. నేను ఇక్కడ కీ స్ట్రోక్స్ ఏమైతే టైప్ చేస్తానో అన్ని అక్కడ కాపీ అవుతున్నాయి. సపోజ్ హియర్ ఈజ్ వీ కెన్ యూజ్ ద ఏఏఏ ఐఎమ్ టైపింగ్, అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ హెచ్హెచ్హెచ్ఎస్, సో కేకేకేకే ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ టైప్ వితౌట్ మై నోటీస్, రైట్? వాట్ ఎవర్ ఐ టైప్డ్ ఇట్ and everything will be copied in this, but it is hidden from the users. Again, or when you are click on that, you see that. So here is నేను ఇక్కడ ఏఏఏ ఇవన్నీ టైప్ చేశాను, హెచ్హెచ్ఎస్ఎస్, and everything will be copied into this. సో ఇలా కాకుండా సపోజ్ మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు ఇదంతా డిలీట్ చేసేసేసి మళ్ళీ ఏదన్నా టైప్ చేసామనుకోండి, అగైన్ యూ కెన్ యూజ్ ద పాస్వర్డ్ అండ్ యూజర్ నేమ్స్ ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్. But here is I am using this. See, hello, Ramana, are you? Suppose I am typing like this, information like this, or suppose when I am typing this information,
Sir,
but I don't know
sir,
where the
spelling is
information,
wrong, sir.
where the information is. No problem. Whatever the spelling, I'm weak at spelling.
Are you,
Okay, right.
sir,
You
are
see
you
that?
okay?
Okay, no problem. Now you see that. But in the keylogger, but I don't know that program. Suppose here is we can use the log file. Now you see that entire information has come like this. So that is the previous information, and here is this one. And Ruxana, how are you? Right? And here is also that is the Ramana is there. Last one. So that is the Ramana is a printed last case. That is Ramana, how are you? And printed this. Whatever keystrokes I can do, everything will be done like this. So the simply what I can do, there is a one RAT Pro software is there. With the RAT Pro software, so then I can install that keylogger in your system, and whatever you type these operations, the entire thing will be copied in the file, that is the log.txt. So now I copy that log.txt and I can steal entire your personal information. So for that purpose, you see that how the program is written like this. Very simple program. In the C programming, I written this, but actually, but most of the people they don't know. So there is some Win32 directory is there, Windows header files are there. But actually with the Windows header file and Win users header files are there. With this user files, I can use the commands like this. So here is a get asynchronous key status. But here you see that I open that file, that is the open that file name, that is the out file. Keystrokes are given, keystroke that is equal to 0 if that is the out file backspace. Suppose when you are pressing the backspace will be copied into that, or when you are printing that, so that is the new line character. Keystroke is equal to 32, that is the blank space. All shortcut keys I am using VK underscore, that is the vertical key, vertical bar, tab. So the tab operation, all keyboard functions are written, all will be copied, so that here is dot keyboard output of this address of key and is this one. But here is the only thing is how this will be stored hidden. Hidden means HWND, stealth command is there. Stealth, HWND capital letters. But when you are using that, it hides the window from the users. It hides the window or all files from the users. So that is, so allocation console function is there, and find window is there console, or with the steals command. So it will be hide the entire program. So a program, whatever you have written that program will be hidden in the operating system, but no one will know. So that is the, what the system is getting something from us. So that's why. So whenever you are giving the, so that is the, don't go to the that is the net centers. So most of the cases when you go to the net center, sometimes if the people maybe wants to do that hacking something about your message, so the simply they can install this program, they can execute and they can keep it is. So until to switch off the computer, this will carrying entire information, right? So then after that, after leaving the system, so they can collect the log file, and next so that, and they can collect the log file, and so that they can get the information from you. So that's why here మనం ఏమనుకుంటామంటే we are safely we are using so entire information in the net center. But actually with the keylogger, there are hundreds of keyloggers are available. Software keyloggers are there, and next hardware keyloggers are also there, right? Sometimes while you are typing keystrokes, The sound is also recognizing. Based on that, it identifies the password and the username. I don't want to go in depth about that keyloggers, but these keylogger programs you can write by using the Python programming or C programming, C++ or Java, anything like this, right? But I told you, suppose if you want to become a good hacker, you should be a good programmer. So this is the second case of so that is the keyloggers. So we can use to access the information of this. Have understood that?
Yes, sir.
So then you see that whatever operations are done, everything will be there like this. Suppose only I use the right keylogger. So that is the right button I am clicking. So right like this. Okay. So after Ruxana, how are you? I pressed only all the right buttons. So that is the thing. So don't think otherwise, Ruxana and Ramana, because I know only these two names there. So that's why I typed the names, right? I don't think otherwise. Whatever keystrokes we can use, that is the keylogger we can create for this one. I think now time is 12 o'clock. So there is a virus creation and sending program. So this is the virus and we can create the program, but how to send the malicious things? We are using the URLs, different URLs we can send it. So with the help of this URLs, we can identify that. In the web page that will be identified, exactly these are the fake mails, right? So because they are given time from 10 to 12 o'clock. So now time is 12:10. So that's why I'm stopping. So sorry for taking 10 minutes extra time. Okay. So thank you. So that is, if time permits, I will explain that creation of virus program and how to send the virus like this. So this is the price.
It's okay, sir.
Program. Okay. Thank you. Have you any doubts?
Sir, 1 second, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, 1 second.
Yeah.
Is there any doubts related to our topic? What sir said? I request the faculties, if you have any doubts related to the topic what we have discussed, you can tell.
Thanks for your patience.
Hello.
I think 2 hours is spent time.
It's okay, sir. Sir, I have one doubt, sir, actually.
Yeah.
Shall I ask?
Yeah. Say your name and then ask that.
It's me, Ruxana.
Okay.
Sir, actually, when we log into any account from any web and all,
Wait.
so it will ask, mainly Google will ask that.
Yeah.
Sir, can you hear me?
Security. Yeah.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah. You say once again.
Actually, sir, if I have opened any account,
Okay.
after that, Google will ask to save your password and all. Okay.
Yeah. That is the cookies.
After that, there is a possibility of cracking the account, sir. How can we recover it about this one?
Actually, there are tools are there. Suppose you see that some. So suppose we can write our own program. Otherwise, you see that here is the one program is the password finder is there. But actually, my system has security. That's why you see that when you run this, if is there any saved passwords and usernames, all will be displayed here. Because my system is having firewalls, that's why it is not working. If you purchase it is a original, definitely it will show the errors. Or otherwise, if you want to recover, one more tool is there. You see that?
Okay.
Windows share.
Okay.
Windows share recovery.
Which? Okay.
Software is there. అంటే మీరు అంటే అక్కడ వచ్చి చూడండి ఇక్కడ వచ్చి either you want to recover data from the hard disk or Win Diary or Recyclobin or My Desktop or selected folders. So once you delete files, right, totally when you are deleting that files, So after that, so suppose after the, so suppose 1 month back, suppose when you set the timings, that also comes like this. Suppose desktop selector, so it asks the files. Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah. So that is
So
here
if
is
we
this is
save
the
it, okay.
okay. I don't want to stay this. Suppose sometimes we can use the Google Saver na. Manam Google lo suppose the Chrome's lo store ainte. Just you see that history, right?
Mm-mm.
So here is you can go to the history. So then it will show that what things I have done or settings. Go to settings, and here is my account is this one. Services, all the Google services. Then if there any cookies, we can find the cookies also here. Browsing history and cookies like this. And మన files ఏమన్నా ఇక్కడ సేవ్ చేసాము అంటే all will be shown like this. So that is the two of my files are open. Nagaraju.c Yogamana University and this one, right? So like this. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Amma.
Is there any doubts, faculty members? Please, you can ask. Unmute yourself and ask. Okay, sir. We'll end up with a vote of thanks. Sir, this was a nice session. Actually, I'm dealing with the CNS. It was a nice knowledge I got. What you have discussed about phishing and all, I can discuss with the students also. Thank you for us for joining here in FDP and all. This is the last day, and you came and you have taken a free time to join here. And as a resource person, I thank each and every one of the faculty who joined, taking a time and joining here for listening to the resource person. Thank you so much, sir, for giving this opportunity and for all these things.
Thanks for the coordinators, and thank you for the special thanks to you and Venkatramana sir, right? So every time we are organizing different workshops, right? So okay,
yes.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir. Please share your PPT also, sir.
Okay, I will share it. You share your video also, right?
Okay, sure.
Right.
I remember about this one, sir. I'll share.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all the participants.
Yeah.
Thanks for your patience.
And the participants, I'll send the feedback to your WhatsApp group. You can give all the details, and you will get a certificates by the evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. I'll end the session.